Hey everyone, it's your girl Layla. Welcome back to my channel.
Stings and shivers down your spine. Shrinking's gonna shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons speak with such a screech. You'll shake and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek.
Welcome to Spooktober episode 2. Okay, so in today's video, I combined my two interests, which is hiking and spooky stuff, and I'm pairing that into this video. So I'm going to give you guys my top 5 list of spooky hikes to do if you live around Alberta and why they're spooky. And these are perfect for Halloween. A lot of these are actually family and dog friendly, so if you guys are interested in doing something spooky this Halloween, I highly recommend doing at least one of these hikes this October. If you guys are officially done chasing larches this season, then these are great hikes. So if you guys are not already subscribed, please go ahead, click the subscribe button below. I upload 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. Of course, for the month of October, all of my spooky videos are every Wednesday, so stay tuned for more Spooktober. There's 2 episodes left after this one. We're halfway done. So let's go ahead and get started on this one. At my number 5 spot, I have Heart Creek Bunker. So this one is kid friendly and pet friendly. You do need headlamps if you do want to enter the bunker because obviously it is dark. This is a Cold War era bunker in the mountains. So they were going to use this bunker to store government paperwork during the Cold War. So isn't that crazy? What kind of era do we live in now? We live in an era of computer encryption, and back then this was how they stored their paperwork, I guess, is to store it in a mountain bunker. So this bunker is located on the Heart Creek Trail. So this one is just past the Kananaskis exit. If you continue on, it's between Kananaskis and Cadmore, so it's not really that far away. If you live in Northwest Calgary, you can even take Highway 1 and then go through Morley and take the scenic way into this one. This is a 4-kilometer trail with an elevation gain of 212 meters, which is not a lot, but this cave does go quite a ways into the mountain. I remember the first time and only time I did this hike was back in, I think, 2020, and we were the only ones on the trail. It was the first snow of the year in the mountains, and it was really quite beautiful outside, and the weather made it all, you know, moody and perfect. So the inside of this bunker is filled with some weird graffiti because people are stupid and they just graffiti everything. We can't have nice things, apparently. There is some creepy graffiti in there. This one also has kind of a little hallway to go into the back. I don't know how to describe it. So you go in basically, and then you can turn to the left, and then you can turn to the right. It is pretty dark and creepy in there. So if you guys want something that's good for your kids, I actually always recommend this one to people that ask me if I have a easy hike recommendation. I always recommend this one because it's super cool. It's not something that you see every day. So moving on to spot number 4, I have Lil Ghost Town. So I do have separate videos on all of the hikes that are in today's video, and I'll leave them in the description box below if you kind of want like a trail overview, my review of the trail and that sort of thing. This is more like a top 5 list for spooky hikes, but if you do want the full experience, I will link the videos down below. So in spot number 4, we have Lil Ghost Town. So this is located in the Crow's Nest Pass Pass. If you guys are familiar with Frank and the rock slide that happened there, this is kind of in that area, and that area had a lot of mining going on back in the day, and this was a mining town. So it does have some really cool ruins. Most of the town is completely gone, but there are some really cool photos of how it used to look before. So the most notable ruin that is still there today is the Bernard style coke oven. Now this is what they use to heat up coal, I believe, and it's still there. It's super cool and old looking, you know, of course. So there is one grave site in Lille, and the rest of the graves were moved elsewhere, but this was a legit town. This was a booming mining town from back in the coal mine boom days. So there is one gravestone left in the cemetery. So the All Trails map does not do this trail justice. I actually had to explore myself because the map only takes you down a road. You have to go kind of explore the sites for yourself. So I suggest downloading other people's maps that have been here, that link their maps onto All Trails, and you can see their routes. If you want to see, say, the coke ovens, or you want to go to the cemetery, it can take you there. So if you just follow the All Trails map, it literally takes you nowhere. So this one is a total of 14.8K with an elevation gain of 365 meters, but I think this is children and pet friendly as well because the elevation gain is so minimal. It's just kind of longer, right? But as far as elevation gains and stuff like that, it's so minimal. This trail is kind of off the beaten path. It's not where you would expect a ghost town to be, like a ghost town in the mountains. Like, you wouldn't expect it to be there. So you do have to drive down a gravel road to get to this trail. So just keep that in mind with the type of vehicle you have and if you can access the trail and all that good stuff. Despite that, this one didn't give me, you know, the satisfaction of crazy amazing views. The ruins were actually pretty awesome, so I highly recommend this one. This would be a great Halloween night type trail, you know, something that you could do in the dark with headlamps. That would be so cool. So in spot number 3, I have Aylmer Lookout slash Minnewanka. So I did a whole video on Lake Minnewanka last year. I think that was Spooktober episode 1, 2021. I actually have 2 videos on this trail, me doing the hike and Spooktober from last year, where I talk about the hauntings and generally the bad vibes that come with this area. This is located in Devil's Gap, and I mean, with a name like that, you'd think something ominous, of course. There is also a town that's under Lake Minnewanka, if you guys didn't know. So there is a town literally underneath the lake that hasn't been touched. It's really cool for divers and stuff like that. But Aylmer Lookout. So Aylmer Lookout, I kind of did have somewhat of a paranormal experience on this trail. So the indigenous people believe that there is a monster or something that lives in the lake that they've witnessed a countless number of times. And if you do go to the museum in Banff, they actually have this weird skeleton thing of something that was found in Lake Minnewanka. It's super strange looking, and this area is just filled with spirits. My experience with this trail, I actually heard screaming, and one of my friends heard it too. We were in a group because depending on when you do this trail, there are specific restrictions for points in the year, so definitely look it up before you take my advice and do this hike, because this is a bear habitat. So depending on the time of the year that you do this hike, you might have to go in a group of 4, or there might not be any restrictions at all. When I went, we did have to go in a group of 4, and 2 of us heard screaming, which is a very common theme on this trail or around Lake Minnewanka. This area is super cool, and if you haven't been to the Lake Minnewanka area yet, definitely go ahead and check this one out. This one is a little bit long, so I mean, I would think it's kid friendly. I have seen people take their kids on it, but if your child is okay with doing over 20K, which is kind of a lot. So this one is a total of 23.2K with an elevation gain of 1,093 meters. So all in all, I did really enjoy this hike. It had great views, and of course the history behind it was awesome. So I highly recommend this one. In my number 2 spot, I have Mount Burke. So Mount Burke, I really enjoyed this hike. This is a cool one because it does have an abandoned fire lookout at the summit. So we did this one on a day when it was super raining. The skies looked moody. We actually did not have a view at the summit because it was surrounded by clouds and it was pouring rain. So the views actually mixed with the abandoned fire lookout really well. Like, my photos looked kind of creepy and kind of cool at the same time. So if you do this one in the fall, you know, you can have the same experience as me, but I definitely recommend doing this one on a clear day so you do actually get a view. But if you want something with an abandoned building and a cool fire lookout, this one is pretty awesome. So this one is a total of 10.3K with an elevation gain of 896 meters. So if you are a novice slash moderate hiker, this one is a good one. If you are just getting into building up your hikes, maybe you just started and you're in the 10K range already, then definitely go ahead and do this hike. But if you are a beginner hiker, this one might be a little bit challenging for you. So that is Mount Burke. Okay, and then in my number 1 spot, I have Bankhead. So Bankhead is actually a ghost town, and I feel like this one is a hidden gem because a lot of people go to Banff. A lot of tourists go to Banff. Banff, Lake Louise, Moraine Lake, the tourists flood these areas. But Bankhead is located near Lake Minnewanka, and of course it is, right? So I feel like a lot of people don't really come here. And I did this one on Halloween quite a few years ago, and I really did enjoy it. It was a great experience. I actually went there to film for Spooktober for the following year. So I went on Halloween and filmed my video for the next year, which was so cool. But this was such a cool experience. There is Upper and Lower Bankhead. Upper Bankhead is located on the Sea Level Cirque Trail. This trail has It's not my favorite. It gives me a little bit of PTSD, to be honest with you. I was a mosquito buffet last summer, like mosquito buffet, and my friends and I had this really weird experience with 2 other hikers at the summit. So it was just, you know, not a hike that I would probably do again anytime soon, but the Bankhead portion of this trail is awesome. Luckily, it's just in the beginning, so you don't have to do the whole cirque. You can literally just go from the beginning and look at the buildings. So there is mine shafts here, and there's also some abandoned buildings. Now, the abandoned buildings are, of course, just like the Heart Creek bunker. They are covered in graffiti, which is a little bit unfortunate. It kind of like ruins the vibe, I feel like if they kind of left it the way it is, it would look more creepy. Now that it has graffiti all over it, it's kind of like, you know. But there is a couple buildings at Upper Bankhead. Now, Lower Bankhead is the one that I brought my friend on, you know, a few years ago during Halloween. And we didn't even have an all trails map or anything. I literally just Googled Bankhead and it took me to the Lower Bankhead parking lot, thankfully. And so this one actually features a lamp house as well as this little train. It has other super cool buildings that are there. So this ghost town is more preserved versus the Lil Ghost Town. In Lil Ghost Town, they actually took down the buildings. They have ruins of the mining equipment themselves, but here in Bankhead, you get both. You get the best of both worlds. You get the mining equipment plus the abandoned buildings. It is a super cool place to be, and it's a super cool place to spend Halloween. So you could definitely go here and then go to Banff after and grab, you know, dinner or something like that. That's what we did. So this trail is only 1.1 kilometers if you're doing Lower Bankhead with an elevation gain of 35 meters. So the whole thing is pretty much flat. There's maybe one little hill and that's it. And then Upper Bankhead is located again on the sea level cirque trail. So I'm not sure really the stats on that one. It's kind of near the beginning. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this episode of Spooktober. It was a little bit different than what I'm used to doing, but I really did enjoy making this one for you, and I really hope you guys go out and explore these places that are in your backyard and check out some spooky things for Halloween this year. So I will see you guys soon in my next video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. I upload 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. And of course, if you are here for my spooky content, come back on Wednesday for more. And yeah, I mean, wow, I'll be back in Alberta by that time. I'm actually leaving for the East Coast tomorrow, but by the time you're seeing this video, I will be in the East Coast, and I'm hopefully going to be going to some spooky places, so you have some out of province content for the last 2 episodes of Spooktober. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this one. I will see you guys soon. Bye!